It's time for this week's parting shots.
Something struck me watching LaMelo Ball seated next to his mother and his father LeVar in a cap that read, "I told you so." Maybe it's because I'm getting a little older, but I saw the number 3 pick in the NBA draft and thought, man, he's grown up a lot. Because of his father's grand ambitions of media domination, LaMelo was something few should ever be, a famous 15-year-old. His fame came via his brother Lonzo and was amplified by one of sports' most visible villains, his father. It was easy to draw conclusions about the youngest Ball from his association and general skepticism of those who nakedly seek fame. The truth is, few of us know a thing about LaMelo. We barely know much about his basketball game since his father took him on a world tour that didn't include college. To the average fan, he's a bit of a mystery, even though it feels like he's been around forever. Another thing that jumped out Wednesday, LeVar Ball is in the background now. Even the ESPN broadcast treated him like another father. Discussions of how LeVar will get along with Michael Jordan, owner of LaMelo's new team, are surprisingly muted. It's been a long time since 2017, when we met LaMelo Ball. Now, we get to actually meet him.
There's no question the Philadelphia 76ers are among the NBA's most disappointing teams. 2 top 25 stars in Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, a max deal shelled out to Tobias Harris, and $109 million to Al Horford all amounted to getting swept by the Celtics in the first round of last season's playoffs. So in comes Daryl Morey to help right this ship, and he did that to an extent on draft night, shedding Horford's big money contract to OKC for Danny Green, bringing in Seth Curry, whose 44% career three-point accuracy is second in NBA history, better than that other Curry brother. And draft pick Isaiah Joe may be the best pure shooter in the draft. Nothing to blow the doors off here, just filling a real need. Now can we stop talking about dealing Simmons or Embiid? How many teams have one, let alone 2 superstars, both under the age of 27? Why try to give away the farm for James Harden, who, by the way, is 31? The fact is, the previous regime couldn't find a way to get the most out of Simmons and Embiid. Knock Doc Rivers for falling short in LA, but why not give time to a championship-winning coach with a track record of making players better together like the Celtics in '08? Time. That's what this team really needs. And if they fall short again next season, well, okay, maybe then we talk.
As the coronavirus rips through college sports and the targets most at risk see none of the profit, let's make note of 2 lucrative coaching departures this week. Gregg Marshall was undeniably successful at Wichita State, leading the Shockers to 7 consecutive NCAA tournaments and a Final Four appearance in 2013. Yet several former players accused Marshall of putting his hands around a staffer's neck, directing racial verbal abuse to a Native American player, and even punching another player in the back. Because Marshall resigned, Wichita State will pay him $7.75 million over 6 years instead of fully investigating the allegations. Then there's Will Muschamp. The former University of South Carolina head football coach was mediocre in his 5 years on campus, compiling a 28-30 record, including 6-14 in his last 20 games. In fact, the only reason Muschamp is 5 games above 500 for his career is because of an 11-2 campaign in Florida in 2012, his lone double-digit win season. Per contractual terms, Muschamp's buyout hovered in the range of $13 million should he be fired at the end of the season. Let that nearly $21 million in severance packages marinate. This is so much what big-time college sports look like. Coaches, the vast majority of them white, are deemed untouchable. And even when they're allegedly morally corrupt or simply not good at their job, they're paid handsomely to just go away. Meanwhile, players are held to higher moral and performance standards without a dime to show. I love college sports, but the big business of it all has long made it America's greatest pyramid scheme.
The argument against excessive celebrations in baseball has focused on old school, new school tensions and the unwritten rules about showing up your opponent. But there's actually a much stronger case to be made on another basis, the don't end up hurting yourself basis. Yes, with the news this week that Cody Bellinger, one of baseball's best, underwent surgery to repair his right shoulder and should be healthy by spring training. The injury count from postseason celebrations this fall doubled to 2. You see, Bellinger celebrated his home run in the 7th game of the NLCS against the Braves with an over-exuberant bashing of forearms with Kike Hernandez. The result, a dislocated shoulder and surgery. Meanwhile, we already knew that Brett Phillips of the Rays had paid a heavy price for excessive rejoicing after that crazy sequence of events, beginning with his hit in the 9th inning of Game 4 of the World Series. Later, Phillips would say, "I almost passed out. When I went to the training room, my resting heart rate was over 140 just laying there. They were like, 'We've got to chill you down. Chill out.'" Phillips even got an IV, the first of his life. Really, it's a lesson as ancient as the Greek upset against the Persians at Marathon in 490 BC. In the aftermath, the courier Phidippides ran 20-plus miles to deliver the good news, proclaiming, "Rejoice, we are victorious." And then Phidippides promptly dropped dead. The first rule of celebrating: do no harm.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.